Don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. Relax. Relax, relax, relax. So, we're trying to win an FA Cup. We're trying to win an FA Cup here. Shout out to your boys, Arsenal, and so forth. But Arsenal, this isn't personal. This isn't personal. The next 7 days or so will define Chelsea's season. Chelsea are about to claim the FA Cup because Arsenal is in the way, and this will set things up for I'm calling this the Allianz Miracle hashtags. What hashtags here? Hashtag the Allianz, hashtag the Allianz Miracle, hashtag the mission. I need 2 hashtags in all things. So the mission is the FA Cup and the Allianz thingy, and the Allianz Miracle is in conjunction. So guys, I need 2 hashtags. Guys, we've got to meet on. Guys, I'm begging you, please, guys, please. I'm being real now because, guys, basically, this is the last you're going to see of HH. Tomorrow, things change. Come August, you're dealing with you're dealing with a different dude. You're dealing with a different dude that might seem a bit arrogant. That might seem a bit. So I'm just warning you that I'm going to get very hyper come August, because once August starts, things are going to change. You're going to be seeing a lot of changes on the football court, but don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. So I need 2 hashtags. I need the Allianz Miracle. I need the mission. I need 2 hashtags in there. The Allianz Miracle, so hashtag the Allianz Miracle, hashtag the mission. Because guys, we want to talk about the mission. Now, I'm hoping to have your boy Ford drop in. I'm hoping to have your boy Danny T. I'm hoping to have your boy Abdullah. I'm hoping to have the boys in there. Well, before you come in here, I want to stake my case. All I want to do is just make a case for Chelsea in this game. Now, I get it, understand. Arsenal are FA Cup extraordinaires. I get it. I understand. They're in love with the FA Cup. And for me, the FA Cup for me is a sideshow trophy. Chelsea are using Arsenal for training for Friday. Guys, there's another hashtag I need from you guys. This is training. I mean no disrespect to Arsenal, but for Arsenal, we are using you guys as training. All gates. Guys, I need another hashtag. All gates. The level of witchcraft I am using for all gates, even I will say, HH, that's too much. Even for me, I say, HH, relax. That's way too much witchcraft. Okay, guys, I want the hashtag in. I want the hashtag right now. Guys, what's this? I need everyone to give me a hashtag. Okay, guys, give me a hashtag. Everyone in the live chat. First of all, guys, guys, please walk with me. Can I get some hashtag OG8? Can I please get some hashtag OG8, please? Hashtag OG8. Come on, no, guys, come on. Thank you. All I want are just those hashtags. Hashtag OG8. Hashtag OG8. Hashtag OG8. Thank you. Arsenal, we're using you for training. I'm not being disrespectful. So we'll say, HH, why would you put guys, HH, you unprofessional, bold calypso. This is Chelsea Arsenal. Why are you putting that American dude there? And I agree, guys, it's very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. And I'm shocked that I did so. I had an epiphany. And my epiphany was, this is the year of the sick. The sick is about to change things. And I'm afraid of what the six could do to Arsenal tomorrow. So Arsenal fans, I've warned you. But the sick is playing tier 1 football right now. Tier 1. So, and the sick is critical for hashtag the mission, hashtag Allen's Miracle, hashtag Allgate. See, this is about Allgate. This match is linked to Allgate because, guys, let me be clear here. When Chelsea win this cup, it will form a basis for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Guys, we're going to be, guys, the level of previews we will be doing, you'll be shocked. Guys, I'm going on a pilgrimage. Guys, I'm going on a pilgrimage for Allgate. Did you hear what I just said? I said I'm going on a pilgrimage for Allgate. So the key thing about Allgate is we need to deal with these boys, Arsenal. Chelsea don't care about the trophy. Is nothing. FA Cup is one useless trophy. This is training. This is psychological preparation for Allgate. Because it ain't over. But we want to focus on it. So Arsenal, look, let's be clear here. Aubameyang is right. I have the utmost respect for him, but I think Aubameyang is one of the best strikers in the world. I rate Aubameyang very highly. So I've told the boys, because I'm going to call the boys soon. I told you, I've got two phones. The Matrix, your boy. So I've been making calls. I've been making calls. And the calls that I've been making are to let guys know that things are going to change. Things are going to change. Okay? Things are going to change in here. Okay? So, easy. Wait. Bro, look, I'm on a live. You can't look. I'll call it out towards. I'm doing a live show. I'm doing it. I said we'll discuss it soon. He's coming. He's coming to Chelsea. I already know he's coming to Chelsea. Just do the deal. I'm not gonna. Bro, I told you I'm live. I'm not gonna announce this right now. But next week we'll see. Make sure it happens. Next, I told you so, bro. When these guys here who Chelsea have bought, like I say, these guys they don't know. They don't know about Allgate. Yeah. They don't know about Allgate. See, shh. Because when this happens, they'll be shocked. That's why I'm so confident about Allgate. They don't know what's gonna happen. This week is gonna blow their minds. Look, we'll talk about chill. Okay, chill. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. That's just one of my guys. Look, guys, Arsenal, I respect you, boys, man. But this is not about you. It was never about you. This is about destiny. Okay? It's about Blues' destiny. Arsenal, you're just here to play a role. You're here to play a specific role. Okay? You're here to play a very specific role. That's it. Don't get in the way with the program. Don't F with the program. Let me see if my boy is in there. Give it to my boy, homeboy. See, Arsenal, don't mess with the program. Very simple. Don't mess with the program. Because I will be shocked if Chelsea lose to Arsenal. No offense. I respect Arsenal. I'll be shocked if Chelsea lose to Arsenal because something is brewing. I'm not going to tell you who I got off the phone with. I don't know, but basically, when you see what happens near to Allgate, you will know who I got off the phone with. But let's just say that I am doing very high tier deals before August. So as a guy, don't see. People call me Baldy. People, they don't respect me because they don't know the kind of power that I wield. I told you that's why I'm having a million. Do you think I would have a million if I wasn't confident? Let me pray. Do you think I would have a million if I wasn't confident? Guys, you don't know who. It's the kid. It's still the kid. It was always the kid. It was always the kid. I was always the kid. What was the other boy just basically saying? HH already getting excuses ready. It's training. Then, bro, there are no excuses in here. I already told you. It's a dub. It's a dub. Okay? It's an easy dub. It's an easy dub. I told you. Best and relax. Relax. It's an easy dub. It's an easy dub. My thing. If all Chelsea have to do is stop Aubameyang, that's it. That's it. That's something that Man City just failed to realize. You stop Aubameyang, you stop Arsenal. So the only thing that says to me that if Chelsea make no defensive mistakes, this is a dub. This is a dub. This is a dub. That's all that has to happen. And Arsenal know that we're looking for a mistake. But as shaky as that Chelsea the defense is, who has David Luiz? Who has David Luiz? So this is a purely psychological game where we need to really understand things. And guys, I keep preaching to you that the sick is top three. The sick is top three, and he's not three. Based on recent form, the sick is top three. So we're going to be seeing some seismic preparations in this game. We're going to see some seismic preparations in this game, you know. And guys, we all know what happened at back home. Grant said Chelsea don't have Hazard, and Hazard was very key in what happened at back home. But Arsenal, be very, very aware. Now, the thing about another interesting thing is that this is the battle of the rookies. Whatever happens, you would have had a manager win their first major trophy early in the game. Now, if Arteta wins, that would be crazy. For Arteta to win a trophy, having been in management for about 6 months, is mad. And that would be a crazy achievement. Of winning a trophy, a major domestic trophy, having spent so little time as a manager. If Lampard wins a trophy, that would be a lot to shut down his haters. I'll agree. I'm one of Lampard's biggest haters because I still think that the guy is a rookie that has no idea about tactics or anything. He's a guy from the road. Tactically, he's from the road. Tactically, he's from the road. But as much as I've been a critic of the dude, if he gives me a major trophy, we ride. If he gives me a major trophy, we ride. Guys, are you ready for it, man?
What's good?
It's the boy forward, but what up, man? So, how are things, man? Just generally, before we talk football, how are things, man? I'm having my million. How are things, man? How are things?
I'm good, man. I just jumped out a cold shower. Weather was mad today. I mean, people hated it. I loved the heat, man. It was nice.
Bro,
it was good kind of weather, man.
I went just with my Twister ice cream. The heat, that is the hottest I've ever felt in England. Bro, it felt like Lagos.
Just, yeah, it felt like back home. It really
it felt like this almost feels like if you're actually in the village, not even Lagos, like going into the village, because the heat is just boom, hits you.
Yeah, you know what it is? This country isn't really used to that kind of heat, so it gets humid quickly. So it's especially in London as well. So the humidity. I think
because it's what my mom said. Because my mom, 90% of the time she lives in Nigeria, but she said that when it's hot in England, it's harsher than in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because the country is also no heat. So when the heat comes, it just hits you aggressively. My sister,
It
how
does.
are
It
black
does.
people surviving? How are my white brothers surviving in this?
I don't know, man. I've been trying to work on that tan, I guess, man. Hopefully some of them are getting a bit of color there, isn't it?
And
But yeah,
also,
no, other than that, I'm all good. I'm all good.
yeah, look, also this is not the time for you sick, demented tomboys to start perverting around parks and so forth, man. Please don't be a pervert, or else you will be hashtag me too. Forward. So before we go into specifics, your general feelings coming into this game, man. General feelings.
Feeling good. It's a nice feeling going into a big final like this, having already accomplished what our main goal was, which was just to get top 4 this season. It's not as much pressure as maybe going into like a Champions League final or going into this game if we had not qualified for top 4, because then we would need to win this to salvage the season. We don't need to salvage the season by winning this, but this would be a pretty big cherry on top of the cake for the season. So I'm confident going into the game. I'm glad it's Arsenal rather than Man City, but I'm not going to write off Arsenal completely. They are still a very good team. They showed in the semi-final. And they showed that in one of the games this season, they can pose a threat. They beat Liverpool this season, they beat Man City this season. So, yeah, I certainly take Arsenal as a threat seriously, but ultimately we should be, and we are favourites going into this game.
So, if you had to, for this game specifically, knowing Arsenal, the threats they pose, Aubameyang and so forth, and who I think is Arsenal's most dangerous player, what lineup of Chelsea do you roll with?
So we're going right in there. All right.
We'll start speaking specifics, man. What lineup, man?
So this is the big thing going into the game. It's what is Lampard gonna do? How is he gonna change it? Is he gonna maybe go with the same system? The same? Is he gonna? I mean, what's the lineup gonna look like ultimately? What players are gonna come in and gonna come out? We obviously know that Willian is now available for this game, and I think the biggest news we found out this week is Kante is now potentially available to start this game. So I think that is massive news, clearly, because obviously we've missed him throughout the entire season, and it's been almost not a miracle, but it's been a very good achievement for Lampard to qualify for top 4 without your most important player by far. So for me, what I would do going into this game is a little bit controversial, but at the same time it isn't really. I would revert back to the 4-3-3. I would ditch the back 5, and there's multiple reasons for this. For a start, we have a fresh week, so I think the reason behind a lot of why we were playing 5 at the back through the last couple of games, especially against Wolves, is because we didn't have much time between games to really work on a new system or to get prepared. So while we were winning in the 5 back, it made sense to just stick with what we were doing. But I'm not going into this game against Arsenal. And I think especially given the first game against them this season at the Emirates, we struggled for about, I want to say, 50, 60 minutes using the 3-4-3, as they were also using the same formation, mirroring us. Only until we changed it with Jorginho coming up at Emerson and going into a 4-3-3, they would really get control of the midfield. With us having the extra man in there, being able to really control possession, create chances, and that's how you're able to then turn the game around. So for me, I would go over 4-3-3. The back 4 being Reece James at right back, Zuma +1, I guess Rudiger because he's been playing the games recently, and obviously Azpilicueta at left back. Kante, hopefully, if he is fit and Lampard said in the truth, then he will be playing at DM. Kovacic and Mount alongside him, and then the front 3, obviously Pulisic on the left. He's going to start Willian. I would potentially start Hudson-Odoi. That's just me personally, but Willian in his last Chelsea.
That's risky though.
Personally, I have a lot of faith in Hudson-Odoi, but again, if he was to start Willian, which will be his last game, I have no.
Is Willian available?
Yeah, Willian is available. He said Willian and Kante are fit, and Ruben is the only person that's injured for today. For the game tomorrow. Ruben had a slight niggle in training this week, so they don't want to risk him. But yeah, so with Willian being available, I imagine Lampard will go with him. And obviously up top, it has to be the one and only World Cup winner, Olivier Giroud. He obviously has previous in scoring in cup finals against Arsenal, his former club. So I think with that 11, I'll be very confident going into that game.
Let me bring your boy Ablai. Ablai, is your mic working there, bro?
Yeah, my mic is working perfectly. It's working. Thank you.
Okay, so Ford has given his starting lineup, man. So what formation and lineup would you play for this game specifically?
I go with what Forward said also. I go with Forward here. I'm not going to dispute that. It's 4-3-3. Because Mikel Arteta is going to play back 3. I've been hearing some news about him going defensive, the way he goes against Man City and the way he goes against Liverpool. He wants to go defensive against Chelsea and need them on the count.
So you think he's going to play the same tactic that he did against Man City?
He already wants to go the back three. He wants to play back three against Chelsea. So he said because Chelsea going to have a lot of possession of football, so he wants to like counter chess because of PM Aubameyang pace and I think Lacazette or something like Nketiah pace. That's gonna be okay with the gun stuff. But the problem he's gonna face is with the gun and Zoom, especially Zuma has space. He can go 1v1 with Aubameyang. He has space and he can recover easily, very very well. He can recover very very well with Aubameyang. There's gonna be a battle between Aubameyang and what's called Zuma. So, I think the little bit worry I'm going to be worried is we have to be clinical against Arsenal. We have to be very clinical. We don't need to waste chances. Once you get your chances, clinical. Just score.
So now, this is my worry because I don't want Chelsea to fall into the Man City trap. Because I think Arsenal, I definitely think that Arsenal are going to go with that same psychology of, you know what? Give them the ball.
Yeah.
Let them break us down. Because Arteta thinks that if City couldn't break us down and we use our same setup and defend the way that we do, these guys are not going to break us down. So for Chelsea, see, you know, and the more and more games I've been watching, I don't know what you guys think about it. The team that has most of the possession is always the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because they have a false sense of superiority. Because you feel that if we have the ball the most, we're definitely controlling the game. And that is where you have a lapse in concentration. Because that's what Mourinho said. Because Mourinho said, I think during his whole Inter Barcelona thing that, no, because we didn't have possession doesn't mean that we didn't. No, we controlled the game. Because we knew that they can have the ball as much as they want. We are plugging all of the spaces. But now when we attack, we know the spaces to attack and we know how to exploit them. So it is actually part of our plan that they have the ball. Give them the false sense of security and we will attack them. So that is why, like, you see, when you have possession of the ball, that is where you need dribblers and you need superb passes of the ball.
Yeah.
Hence why Pulisic is going to be vital for this because the issue that happens is that you just have wave after wave after wave after wave. And Chelsea be like, okay, we're going through. Let's go higher. Let's push higher. Let's push higher. Because they're like, hey, let's go. And then maybe a misplaced pass, maybe a key interception. Who's the fastest player on that pitch? Aubameyang. And what they just do, ball over the top, beat the high line. Aubameyang has it. Boom. You know, I don't want to bet against Aubameyang with a 1v1. So I'll come first of all with it. How should Chelsea avoid getting caught into the trap of having loads of possession, not using it, and getting caught on the break as Man City were?
Well, I mean, that's been the trouble for us most of this season. I mean, against some of the lower position, especially at home, that's where we've kind of been caught cold. We've been having a lot of possession in their half, especially. But again, the key word that Abdullahi mentioned earlier was being clinical. And for much of this season, we've not been clinical. So that's going to be certainly important that we are in that case. But I do believe that we have what it takes to be, again, very good in possession and to control the game and also not give away too many sloppy missed passes in the middle. Again, we haven't really given up that many cheap turnovers this season. I think we've probably been one of the best teams in terms of circulating the ball well. Obviously, where we have conceded a lot of goals is from set pieces and from crosses, which, again, Arsenal aren't really the strongest at, but obviously Arsenal, as we know, have very good attacking threat in the likes of Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe if he starts. Obviously, Saka's been very good at the second half of the season. So I'm very aware of Arsenal's threats, but for me, I just feel like maybe one of their biggest threats would be hitting us on the counter-attack. But again, as Abdullahi's mentioned with Zuma, I think now Zuma would be in the team again. He's going to be someone that I trust when we went against Aubameyang, being able to catch him with his pace. And probably one of the best players in the world at preventing a counter-attack is someone like N'Golo Kante. And having him in a midfield three, alongside Kovacic and Mount, who obviously are very mobile players. I don't want to get too overconfident, and I'm not going to, again, given obviously recent history and obviously how Arsenal have been very good in the FA Cup just in general. I think they got the most FA Cups with 13, going for number 14 tomorrow. But again, given the lineup that I've mentioned earlier, I really feel like we should be able to win this game and win it comfortably as well. I'm going to be honest. I feel like, again, if we do take our chances, which has been the X factor for most of this season, then I feel like we'll control most of the game, limit Arsenal's chances and create enough chances to win this game.
Abdullahi, thoughts on how do Chelsea, with the possession, say what's up and be much more incisive?
I think Lampard could do two things. I think it could match Mikel Arteta's formation 3-4-3 because Lampard is very versatile and those players knows how to play the formation. They can play that 4-3-3 and 3-4-3. Lampard could go the same formation with Mikel Arteta and play back three, which is for me now just the kind of way United were playing, like 3-5-2 against us and also 3-4-3 against us. Now we open up space. In the second half, Lampard could switch. He could easily switch from back three to back four, depending on how the match pans out between the first 45 minutes and the second 45 minutes. It depends on who wants it more between Chelsea and Arsenal. It depends. Lampard could go a back three. It's very possible. He could play back three because he's been trying the back three and it's been working with him. So we have three defenders.
But would he play back three in this game though? That's the thing.
Possible. It is possible. Lampard could do it. He could. It's possible. He could match Mikel Arteta's formation and play back three together. But my problem is if you play back three, in between Mount and Willian, someone has to sit down because Pulisic is in form. He has to play. Pulisic doesn't work in the back three. He only works in the back four. Lampard hasn't tried him. He hasn't tried him at all in the back three. He only tried him in the back four, and which is why it's very dynamic. Pulisic doesn't play in the back three because I don't know how Lampard kind of work his formation out. Pulisic doesn't play much in the back three. It's very versatile playing in the back four.
So which formation, my friend? Which formation? It
depends. Maybe 3-4-3. Lampard could match Arteta's formation.
Okay. So Amchi Critic says that HH 5-hour stream if PSG go out to bro. PSG they don't stare. I mean, because I'm actually working on that day though, so I just have to basically do some quick things to make sure that the work does not get in the way. Oh shit. So let's go to Arsenal right now. So if you're Arsenal, so because obviously you guys Chelsea in and out and so forth. So if you're Arsenal, what tactic or approach do you utilize to get them up? Because again, for me, if you ask, look, we've got the best finisher on the pitch easily in Aubameyang, 100%. So in your mind is that if I'm a manager for Arsenal, creates a situation for Aubameyang, creates set pieces, creates crosses for Aubameyang and try and apply him, trying to make those dangerous runs. But if you're Arsenal, you're saying, man, these guys make defensive mistakes. Although Rudiger and Zuma have been looking a bit more robust, they still don't look as short. So for Arsenal, if you were Arsenal against Chelsea, do you do what you did against Man City? Park the bus, 5 men behind, let them come onto us, counter? Do you say, okay, no, we're actually going to be more expansive, fight fire with fire, have a bit more possession, or do you try and actually catch Chelsea off guard and really try to attack them and really try maybe match them for possession? So, Ford, how do you think Arsenal should approach this?
So in theory, there's two ways Arsenal can approach it. They can make it kind of like just an all-out gunfight and rely on their firepower, which they have up front, which arguably is better than ours. But having said that, with their defense, is that really something you want to do? Again, with the likes of Luiz, Holding or Mustafi defending on a counter-attack, I mean, that's a very risky game to do against the likes of Pulisic, Mount and Willian. So I think likely they'll do what they've done for most of the games this season. I think most of the games, in fact, in more games this season than any previous season against the top 6 teams, they've given up more possession. They've given up the possession to their opponent team. So they've been more into this, playing into the kind of style of playing on a counter-attack, relying on a sturdy defense. Obviously, they need to play a back five because they haven't got any two good centre-backs as a pairing who are going to be solid enough. So they're going to rely on having 3 centre-backs. It gets the best out of David Luiz in that system. And I think they're going to look to just try and hit us on the counter-attack like they did with Man City. At times, they will try to play out from the back and try and beat our press. But for the most part, they'll be happy to just sit back, wait for the opportunities to hit us on the counter-attack. And they would have watched the tape this season. They would have known that we've conceded most of our goals against small opposition by getting hit on the counter-attack. And obviously, we've been stifled a lot in the final third by them being able to set up in a low block or in a mid block and just really contain us and force us out wide and force us to try and cross it into the box. So that's probably what they will try to do. Whether it will work or not remains to be seen.
So, okay, but let me ask you this again before I go to the lie. Yeah. This is my theory. If I'm wrong. Is this as easy as take Aubameyang out of the game and you stop Arsenal? Or do you think that Chelsea should be wary of other threats that Arsenal have? Because for some reason, Martinelli does not exist anymore. Pepe is one of the biggest flops of the season. So, I mean, and Lacazette is hot and cold.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, again, it's like, if you look at in terms of the score sheet, if you don't get him on the score sheet, then who else is going to really score for Arsenal? That it's a serious question. I mean, yes, they got Lacazette and Pepe who could score, but it's likely going to be Aubameyang who scores for them. But in terms of keeping him out the game, I mean, he's not, let's say, like a prime Henry, where Henry throughout 90 minutes, as well as scoring goals, is also influencing the build-up play and creating chances, getting assists, getting goals. Aubameyang's really just about scoring in the box. He's a predatory striker. He doesn't do too much outside of that. So, I mean, you can keep him quiet, but then he can just pop up with a goal. So for me, it's more about stifling really the pipeline towards him in terms of Pepe trying to cross it in. Because obviously, we see what he likes to do, which is cutting it from the right, getting onto his left foot and crossing it back post to Aubameyang, or obviously making sure that we close down the space in Lacazette, which Lacazette likes to operate in kind of in the half spaces between the defense and the back line, the defense and the midfield. So it's more about really stopping really stopping the players who are really going to then provide for Aubameyang, because Aubameyang won't create too much by himself. Yes, if you get him on a counter-attack, he can sprint and outrun any defender, but it's more about really stopping the players who are going to get the ball to him. The supply line, that's the word I was looking for. But yeah, carve the supply line, that's it.
All right. Abdullahi, who should Chelsea be most fair, and how do you think Arsenal will approach this game?
I think Chelsea should be mostly fair about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang because he's their talisman. He's their goal scorer. If he doesn't score goals, Arsenal doesn't show up. So I think that's why I said a back three is very good, suitable for Chelsea, because Aspika doesn't need to go front. Aspika, that job is just stay on Aubameyang. Reece James is one of the best crossers in Chelsea at the moment. He knows how to cross. Reece James' job is just to cross. Aspika, that job is to mark Aubameyang. That's why we need Kante in this match, because if Kante starts, Kante's job is stay on Lacazette. Aspika, that job is stay on Aubameyang. That's it. Just two players. Just look at that.
So that still like sit on Aubameyang and we're gonna eat.
Yeah,
like I'm eating
exactly. Because Marcos Alonso, all he needs to do just go forward. Going forward is good because he's a left wing back. He's not
a garbage defender. I want to speak more about Alonso, by the way, but Karen.
He's a left wing back. He's not a left back. So if he goes forward,
and why is he left back? If he's a left wing back, why is he left back? Why is he to defend?
He's a left wing back. He knows how to go forward. He doesn't know how to defend. That's the problem with Alonso. So if he goes forward, Arsenal is in problem because they have someone in the break academy called Luiz. Luiz can make mistake anytime. It's not hot and cold. He can make mistake anytime. Luiz can just give the ball away. It's very common to Luiz. When he lose focus, he miss ball a lot. He has considered a lot of chances for Arsenal this year, which lead to like them losing matches or losing goals. So the job of Aspilicueta is mark Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and the job of Kante in that position is your job is to stay on Lacazette, because once Aubameyang and Lacazette are shut down, the whole entire Arsenal team is done. It's entirely done.
Okay, quick. Because I saw you nod your head a bit with Luiz. I want to pick some of Luiz, but before I come to you let me just read this super chat, man, before these guys get on my tits. Josh Besson says, who's a hater, by the way, starts Kepa, New, Drogba, Alonso, and Barkley as number 10. Josh Besson, worry about the Europa League. Stop hating. Worry about the Europa League. We're playing a Champions League game on Friday. You're playing Saint in the Europa League. Okay, so worry about Saint. Okay, relax, chill. Natsa says preview and no Arsenal fans. Half hope Chelsea hot. Natsa, I sent out a tweet for people that are any Arsenal fans. If you want to join, click the link. Holla at your boy. So your boy is all friendly in here and everything. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm not a fighter. So Ford, I saw you twist your mouth. I saw you twist your mouth, man. And David Luiz, talk to me. Should we target Sideshow Bob? Should we target this Brazilian Sideshow Bob, or do you think that people are actually being maybe a bit too harsh and are underestimating David Luiz? Because let's be fair, I'll be real with you. Homeboy was very impressive against Man City, and I think he had a very good defensive job against Man City. So do you think David Luiz will be a weak link, or you think that he will come up strong and Chelsea needs to look beyond just targeting Luiz?
So this question was actually asked to Lampard in his press conference, and he answered it in the most diplomatic way as you could imagine, which is obviously Luiz deserves a lot more respect than to be question in terms of, we should target him. Obviously, he's a very good centre-back, as we know. And obviously, my opinions on it is, yeah, he can blow hot and cold, no doubt about it. We saw it for many years at Chelsea. But more often than not, he did perform. And especially in big games, he is someone who was going to perform. Now, could he give away a penalty in the game tomorrow? Perhaps he could. But more often than not, he does perform in the big games. And for me, if there's anybody you want to target, it's not him. You target the likes of Holding or Mustafi or Bellerin.
Ford. Does a World Cup semi-final count as a big game?
Of course, it's a big game, but as I said, he turns up in most big games. Not every big game. I mean, again, if you want to go through any centre back, you can go and criticize any particular performance of theirs. I'm sure there's many big games that they've maybe messed up in, but look, for me, I think David Luiz, we know his limitations, and obviously he's getting on in age a bit, but I think in the back three, he's a very solid centre-back. I think in a solid team, in a solid defence in general, he'll be able to do a pretty good job. For me, personally, I've said it the entire season. I said it before the season started. I would not have sold David Luiz going into this season, given if it's a team that lacks a lot of experience. So now we're stuck with Rudiger, who even himself has come out this week and said that he's been disappointed with his performances this season. So for me, look, people want to go into this narrative of David Luiz being a comedy defender or making a lot of mistakes. And yes, he makes a lot of mistakes, but he also has a lot of big game performances, because between both squads right now, other than maybe Zuma, and nobody else is dropping the performance that he did versus Man City. Nobody. Mustafi, no. Christensen, no. Holding, no. None of them are doing that. It's just whether Luiz can do it consistently, which has been the issue over most of his career, not the entirety of his career. Let's bear in mind he was voted as the best centre back, or in the FIFA Pro 11 in 2013. I believe it was 2013, but he was voted in that 11 by his peers. So again, I'm not if there's narrative that Luiz is a comedy defender. He's on the levels of a Lovren or Skirtle or Otamendi or all these joke men. No, David Luiz is a defender that deserves a lot more respect from media and fans alike.
So I want to look at both of these managers, Arteta and Lampard. I think have relatively done pretty good jobs based on, what they had to take over and so forth. Lampard, transfer ban, losing Hazard. Arteta, taking over Emery with Arsenal in the dressing room being in disarray. And I'm going to confess to Abdullahi with this, who needs this FA Cup win more? Who will this help and enhance more? Lampard or Arteta? Abdullahi?
For me, it's I would say for me, people may say Mikel Arteta because he wants to play in the Europa League, but I think it's Chelsea because everybody underrated that Lampard a lot when the season began that he won't make top four. But now officially he has already made the top four, which is a sign. And to choose everybody, we can easily prove anybody wrong. I think for those players like Mount, Reece James, who has won the Youth Cup. If you remember, they've won that the most successful thing in the league. Now winning an FA Cup is a for them, which boost them into a confidence into next season to make us like a challenge. But Arsenal winning it is like a plus for them because they go straight to the Europa League. But does it really matter to them? Yes. Does it really matter to Lampard a lot? Yes, because Lampard wants to prove a point. He wants to win. He has already won this 4 times as a player. If he wins it again as a manager, then for me, he has already shown how capable of a player, of a manager he can be. When with the likes of Timo Werner, potentially Kai Havertz, and also Hakim Ziyech. So I think Lampard winning will be a plus for Chelsea, and also with the kind of player, with all these players we have in terms of Messi, Mount, and this kind of player, to boost their confidence a lot coming into next season.
My friend, who will benefit more, Lampard or Arteta, man? Who?
I think Lampard for me.
Lampard or Arteta, who will benefit more?
I actually disagree. I think it's Arteta that needs it more. I think we've already seen in the transfer window that the Chelsea board are backing Frank Lampard. They certainly credit the work he's done this season. That's why they're trying to give him the players to take it to the next level, because as well as he's done with the likes of Mason Mount, obviously Willie and Pedro, who have been over the hill, Barkley, Kovacic this season. Some guys who have done good this season, some guys who have obviously less so. Now we're going to get him. Now we're giving Lampard a chance to reinvest and buy his own players in, and now see what he can do with those guys. Whereas with Arsenal, it's no secret that the board hasn't really invested too much of the money in the club in recent years. So for Arteta, really, it's about really earning that clout to say, you know what, I am a really good manager. I can take this group of players as far as I can, but ultimately I'm going to need funds to obviously take us to the next level, because everybody knows for a long time that this Arsenal squad isn't good enough to getting to obviously challenge for a title, as was being said in previous years. They've been proven now that they can't challenge for the top 4 either. I mean, they finished 8th or 9th this season, which is just embarrassing for a club the size of Arsenal. So, yeah, for me, Arteta really could do with this win, which would obviously it would certainly give the board more confidence that they have the right man at the helm if they just give him the funds to obviously improve the team. Now, having said that, if you're an Arsenal fan, or maybe if you're Arteta himself, you don't want to lose the FA Cup final. It's not a good look. But at the same time, if you were to lose it, it's not the end of the world, because it helps you next season in the fact that they won't have to play Europa League football. Because for me, like an Arsenal in Europe, they've never been a convincing side for me. I don't think they're going to win a Europa League next season if they were in it. They very rarely win anything in Europe. I think the last time they won something in Europe wasn't this century. Let's leave it as that. They're very poor in Europe. But for me, at least if they were to go into next season where they're playing once a week, I'm not saying they're going to mount a title challenge like Conte's Chelsea did, but you're going to at least have more time to work with your players over the season, rather than having to spend time planning for a Thursday, then planning for a Sunday, then Thursday, Sunday, week in, week out. Having a week to prepare for the league games, I'm not going to say he's going to get them top 4, but at least it will allow him to implement his system a little bit better and get his ideas across sooner and quicker to the players. But in short, yes, Arteta has more pressure on him to win this game.
So basically, people are just trying to reference me to watch the PSG. I don't care about what PSG do in Uber Eats.
Bro, I heard Neymar did something almost illegal on the pitch. That's all I'm saying.
Well, forward, see, this relation I have. It's Uber Eats. It's Uber Eats. You will only be judged on the CL. The CL is how you will always be judged. Because Neymar, we know that you're too good for Uber Eats. So anything you do in Uber Eats doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's pass judgment in the Champions League, but we can also give you credit and everything else that you do. But but then again, actually, even given, and then are we gonna really pass judgment on Neymar and PSG now with Mbappe injured? I mean, I'm just saying, bro. The bet's off in it. I told you Neymar was gonna be fit. He was gonna arrive at the Champions League, but your boy Mbappe got crocked up, bro. Like, I mean, what's happening, man?
Look, man,
bro, it's long.
Okay, actually, well, here, let me bring this up. So let me ask you guys this then. Pulisic, am I overrating him in saying that I think this guy could potentially be an extremely good player? Because I think that he has performed better than I think he would have. Or do you just think that, it's just a flash in the pan, short stint, he'll end up being just another sideshow player and will be displaced? Or because I feel that Pulisic could really, really, nobody can ever fill in the role for what Hazard did, because what Hazard did was exceptional. Do you think that Pulisic can be the real superstar star player for Chelsea? Let me come to Abdullahi with this.
Wait, just before you go to him though, what does a very good player mean? Does that mean, like, I mean, maybe I don't know if you have any numbers in your head of how many he would score and assist in a season, or what kind of player he would replicate, but give us like an example of what you think he would do.
A very good player is what Willian has been for Chelsea. Like, you do your job and you're a very useful addition. You're not a Kante. You're not a Hazard where, bro, we need you. You are a key reason as to why we win games. You are a difference maker. You're a difference maker. You're not just like, like, what's it called? Zuma? Willian is the perfect example. Willian is consistent, good, solid, good. Aspilicueta, consistent, good. But a difference maker was what Hazard was. Drogba, Lampard, these were difference makers. Even to agree, Ashley Cole. So let me confess to Abdullahi. How do you then say for Pulisic? Do you think that this guy can be a superstar player, or we're just overrating him and it's just going to be another overrated American player?
For me, I think it's going to be a superstar with the form he is at the moment. I think he has proven a lot in his first season how good of a player he's going to be. But we need to understand that there's a difference between Eden Hazard and Christian Pulisic. There's a huge difference between them. There's a difference. Hazard, the way Hazard plays different than the way Christian Pulisic is more of dribble, direct, shoot, go. Hazard is not like that. Hazard will have to dribble you, make an assist before scoring. But Pulisic dribble, boom, shoot. That's kind of, they're similarly the same, but slightly different. There's a difference between the both of them. But for me, I think Pulisic is going to be a very good superstar player, because of the form he is now, and the kind of player that's coming in the kind of a player of Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, and what's called Hakim Ziyech. Christian Pulisic is going to be very, very important to that team. Very, very important, because he can kind of play both right wing.
Or how good do you think he can? Because actually, because people have now reminded me. Yes, I said that I don't think he'll become world class. And I've been surprised. And I still maybe think that when all is said and done, he won't be in the same level as Sancho. What's it called? He wouldn't be in the same level as Sancho and all those dudes and everything, man. So that's what I will say, you know. So, but do you think he'll become world class? That's my thing. Do you think he'll become a world class talent in the future?
Yeah, it could be. It could be. With the way he's playing at the moment, it could be. Because he's a very good player. Very, very good player. It could be. It could be very good player. It's very good. It could be with the level of consistency, on the consistent level. Consistent Pulisic could be, because as long as he's consistent and he's showing how good of a player he is, I think he has the potential to be a to be a world class player. He has
okay. Ford, what about you? Your honest assessment of what do you think Pulisic can be?
Well, if I'm going to be candid with you, I was in the same boat as you. I didn't think he was likely going to be world class. I thought he would maybe be a very good player, but I just felt like he maybe would lack something. But again, I wasn't ready to say that, he would never be world class. I just didn't think it would be the case. And even now, I'm not willing to now say and make a U-turn and say he will be world class, but I can certainly see it more. It's certainly more likely that it could happen now, given his performances. And it's less the goals and assists that he's been getting. But it's more the way he's looked on the pitch. First of all, some of his mannerisms, his demeanor on the pitch looks a lot more. He just looks a lot more confident now. And maybe it was a bit of an adjustment period that he needed in England.
That's just a flash in the pan. Next season, but we can't judge him based on such a small sample size of this post-COVID thing.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I'm not. That's why I'm not saying with conviction that he's going to be world class. I still, the jury's kind of out on that one. But I mean, now I'm very interested. I'm a lot more interested now to see where his development takes him, because he's looked a lot more assured on the ball. He's looked a lot more confident. He's looked a lot more direct, which I think his dribbling style has drawn comparisons to Hazard, which is true. I think those comparisons are fair, but he certainly is a lot more direct when he gets into the box. He's more willing to take a shot, which is a very good sign. So. Again, I'm not willing to say he's going to be world class for sure, but I'm not willing to say he won't be world class. I think it's possible, and also again, he's still very young. What, 22 maybe? He's got so much time ahead of him. So there's 21. Yeah, very, very, very young. So he's got so much time ahead of him. He could be anything he wants by the time he's 27, 28. So, but even to your point earlier, where you said he might be very good, like a Willian kind of level player, it's not the worst thing in the world when you consider we're bringing in Werner, we're bringing in Ziyech. And all of a sudden now we're bringing in other top quality players alongside him, where he doesn't have to be a Hazard and have to bear everything on his back and carry the team. No, he can be part of a very good winning system alongside other potentially world-class players. So, yeah, it's the sky's the limit for him, honestly. But at the same time, is he going to be world-class? We'll wait and see.
Rodney, is your mic working, my friend?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, man, we have ourselves an Arsenal fan. We have an Arsenal fan.
Oh, yeah?
So we are not biased here. So, Rodney, before we go into specifics, what are your emotions and your feelings going towards this game? Because I hear apparently this is your cup or something. Arsenal own this competition. Please shed some light.
The Emirates FA Cup is what I've been hearing. The Arsenal Emirates FA Cup.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you see number 14 loading right there.
What? Yeah, oh my god.
Nah, man. For me, I wouldn't say like I'm massively confident in terms of Arsenal winning it. Like it's some kind of guarantee. But I think it's going to be quite a close game. I think each time Arsenal have played Chelsea this season, it's been fairly well matched up. Like even the 2-1 where we lost at home to you guys, like that was after us leading for like 80 minutes and then letting it go near the end. And then obviously we went to the bridge. And I think that game where we drew 2-2, we could have won with 10 men. And you got to remember, Aubameyang wasn't part of that game. So for me, I think going into this one, I do think that Arteta can tactically match up well with Frank Lampard. I think it's just down to which side are able to hold off on the individual mistakes, personally.
What is your feeling when people say that the only threat that Arsenal have is Aubameyang, and if you shut down Aubameyang, you pretty much shut down Arsenal? Or if, as Ford has said, if you stop the supply to Aubameyang, Arsenal can't function. So are Arsenal as simple as just being a one-man team or shut down the supply chain? They can't do anything? Or do you think Arsenal can have other threats in their Arsenal?
I like that one. No, I
That's a bit
mean,
cheesy for my liking, but yeah, sorry, go on.
Hey, look, man, my middle name is Swiss cheese, man. So yeah, there you go.
No, for me, I think like we've been quite reliant on Aubameyang since he came. Really, I think he's like a world-class finisher, but as you guys say, like I don't think he's. I think Ford was saying it, like he's not Henry where he's influencing the game for the entire 90 minutes. Like he's the guy on the end of things. And I think when you look at how Pepe's been getting him involved in the end of things in the past couple of games, there's been definite improvement in terms of the supply line to him, I think. I think also the breakthrough season we've seen with Bukayo Saka, like the performances we've seen from Kieran Tierney. I think Kieran Tierney's been, like, if you want to just talk about the restart, he's been one of the best performing players, like not just for Arsenal, but in the Premier League. And I think Lacazette as well, even like from the Wolves game on, like he's been playing really, really well. Like he scored against Wolves, scored against Liverpool, scored against Tottenham. So I think it's harsh to say that there's only one threat in this team. I will say though that my worry is the fact that there's not really anything on the bench, and there's not really much of a midfield either, which we're used to seeing with Arsenal.
So obviously we've given lineups, and so forth. So knowing what likely lineup Chelsea will do, what lineup would you go with? Formation, goalkeeper to striker. What setup would you roll with?
I'll probably roll with a 3-4-3 again, same system we've been playing. I'd have Martinez in goal, obviously. He's been playing really well. I think, see, this is a tough one. Like, I think for the wing backs, I would go for Bellerin and Ainsley Maitland-Niles again. It's hard because I want to put Saka in there because I feel like we can't just sit back and kind of soak up as we did before. But at the same time, I don't think Ainsley Maitland-Niles deserve to be dropped. So, I'll say Saka. Then I'll say Tierney, Luiz, and Holding. Then in the midfield, I would say Ceballos and Xhaka. Then obviously the front three of Aubameyang on the left wing, Lacazette through the middle, and then Pepe on the right.
Okay. So let me just hit the super chat. So from your boy Nata, who says that if Sterling has improved this much, Pulisic can 100% improve and become world class, and he's more talented than Sterling. Guys, remember sending questions, and we'll go through. So we've only got your boy Ford for 4 minutes. So Ford, before you go, thoughts on this because I want to get a scoreline prediction from you. So do you think that this is a Sterling? It's okay. My answer to this, and I'll go to Ford, is coach. Without Pep, Sterling isn't the player that he is. And yes, I call Pep a checkbook manager and so forth, and I call him Guardiola, but I appreciate his coaching and his player improvements. Pep is a very big reason why Sterling is as good as he is, because Sterling is very coachable, and Sterling relies upon coaching. Sterling as an individual with flair and dynamism, he ain't like he's no Paul Pogba who can just do amazing things. He's no Leroy Sané, but if you coach him well, he can do something. So if Lampard ain't no Guardiola, let's keep it a stat. He's not. Okay, he's not. So it's really Pulisic's development is very much dependent on the coach that he has. So, Ford, thoughts on that?
Okay, first and foremost, I'm not going to say Lampard is Pep, or as he said he was himself, Fraudiola in our press conference. Clearly, he watches your videos, HH. But for me, look, I'm not going to say Lampard's going to 100% transform Pulisic. But at the same time, there's no reason why we can say Lampard can't become or can't get to the level that, let's say, a Pep has got to or Zidane has got to, where they've managed from a club they took over, and they took over at the highest level. They didn't start in the lower leagues like a Klopp or Mourinho or all these other guys. They started at the highest level, and they had to do their learning pretty much in front of the entire world. So there's no reason why Lampard can't do that. And I think for me, I've seen a lot of good signs in this first season at this level, and even in his season at Derby, that he could become one of the best managers in the world and take this Chelsea team from where we are now, with a lot of young guys from the academy, into where Liverpool and Man City are right now, at the top of European football. And as for the Sterling and Pulisic comparison, I think there's a fair comparison to make. People do kind of underrate how good Sterling was at Liverpool. Again, he was instrumental in that what should have been a title-winning side until Gerrard slipped and he bottled it. But yeah, no, it's a fair comparison. Again, Pulisic, again, only at 21, is a very talented player, and he could be anything he wants to be.
So, Ford, maybe before you ride off, give me an honest. No, two things. How do you think the match is going to go and score? And so, and we'll come back and see who was closest to giving us the best storyline. How do you think the story will go in this game?
Yeah, before I go dress my bed and do all this other stuff around the house and get some sleep for tomorrow. I see the game going how a lot of our games has gone this season. We control a lot of possession. And we look like we're in control of the game, but to your point earlier, possession doesn't mean you're controlling the game. I think a good point this season was when Man City played Chelsea at home, and Man City had less possession for the first time in Pep's career in England, but yet they control a lot of the game just because they south of us and they hit us on the counter attack. So again, we got to be very wary of that, especially with the pace of Aubameyang. But I think in a back four, with obviously Zuma's pace and obviously most importantly Kante, if he does start, I think we will be able to manage that. Ultimately, both defenses are pretty crap, if we're going to be real. Kepa won't be starting, which is great, but Caballero's hardly much of an improvement. So I expect us to concede. But I also expect us to score a couple of goals as well. I expect Giroud to score. I would also expect Mount to score. And I'm going to go with 3-1. I say we're going to be 2-1 up in the second half. And I expect Abraham to come off the bench and to end the game with a goal and a counter-attack. For it to be another trophy for Chelsea, which would be, I believe, 15 trophies in 18 years, or a trophy in 15 of the last 18 years for Chelsea, which again is a phenomenal record. We've been the most consistent trophy-winning club in England, or certainly this century, with obviously Man United falling off in the last 8 to 10 years. So, yeah, what we do is we win trophies. I know a lot of Arsenal fans have been pretty boastful, pretty arrogant going into this game. Not our guy who's joined here, he's been pretty humble to be fair, but a lot of Arsenal fans have been out just going kind of mad. And it's funny to me because they were very overconfident in the Baku game, and we obviously saw what happened there and what they built up. And funny enough, what their Twitter account built up as their biggest game in the last decade. It's a massive event, and they got slapped 4-1. They held 4 goals in one half. It is mad. So let us fans still be confident. That's what they do. They like to talk. They hype up things a lot. Chelsea will just do what we do, and that's just win trophies. What we've been doing is winning trophies. So I expect us to win. I'm not overconfident. I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal won, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we went and beat them 3 or 4-0, to be honest. But my prediction ultimately is 3-1.
Okay, well, Mr. Ford has spoken. So we will. So obviously, Thad, thank you for coming on. And remember, I'll be WhatsApping you during the game. We'll be in constant contact and everything, and if you're wrong and Giro and Tammy doesn't give me that brace,
I'm going to be here afterwards the whole corner if necessary, but I feel like we're going to be celebrating post-match. Inshallah, hopefully it happens, but I thought the boys will perform, and again, for me, if we perform to the best of our abilities, we'll get it done, man. So again, I'll be here afterwards. If we lose, it is what it is. I'll hold it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
All right, man. Okay, man. So let me just take in this super chat here from Man Behind the Mind, who says, thank you for the super chat, Mr. Man Behind the Mind. Says, HH, if you don't make an emotional pre-match for Allgate, and go to the Chelsea locker room and spit fire, I'll be pissed. I got that day of hashtag no excuses. Man behind the mind. I don't think he realized how massive that game is. It is one of the biggest games in history. Allgate is going to alter reality.
Wait, what's happening August 8th?
Was it?
What's happening August 8th? What's happening then?
It's the Bayern game.
The what game?
Bayern game. Bayern Chelsea.
Who? Bayern?
Bayern Chelsea. Bayern Chelsea.
That tie ended in February. What are you on about? Have they not received my proposal? I said that we were going to send out. They were going to obviously do a COVID test and make sure they get 14 fans who are able to play that game, 3 on the bench, 11 to start, and they're going to play Bayern Munich. They're going to play the Bayern Munich first team. 11 Chelsea fans from around the world will play Bayern Munich team. Why are we sending our players out there to do what? To hold more corn, bro. The game's done. The tie is done.
Not making a Make-A-Wish game, though.
So you have no hope. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, if your name's Half Pope, I'm no hope in the situation. The game's done, bro. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing?
Wait. This is harsh. Yes, I said I can't lie. I want to see Ford cry. I don't know why. Why do you want to see Ford cry? So Ford, why do you think people hate you so? Why do people so depressed?
Haters gonna hate, but shit. I ain't gonna see me cry. Last time I probably cried in a football game was I want to say when Chelsea were knocked out by Liverpool on penalties. That one hurt as a kid. Yeah, I was in the Champions League. I want to say 2007?
It was 7. It was, I think.
07.
Didn't Dirk Kuyt score the winning penalty?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, damn, that was a painful day, man. Damn, that was painful. I think the last time I cried. Obviously the Barcelona game, the infamous. This is a disgrace game. I don't think I was crying. I was just more just angry, like just rage. But yeah, you ain't gonna see me cry anyways, bro. Like it just ain't gonna happen.
Okay, so before let me
yeah, I'm out. I'm out. So I'll obviously be here for the review of the game. Take it easy, guys. And yeah, when Abraham scores, hey, I told you so, innit? I told you so.
Hey, all right, peace. All right,
take it easy, guys.
So this is from your boy Just Best, who says that the sick won't reach Sancho, Mbappe, and Rashford's level. Well, unless you can view the future, how do you know? You can't view the future. So actually, no, I want to come to Rodney with this now. So if Arteta wins, I want to focus on Arteta now because we didn't get your thoughts yet. If Arteta does win this FA Cup, would you put this season as a resounding success despite the league position, or would you say trophy is cool, but that's not enough? Have to build up and improve upon the league position. What would your feeling be towards assessing Arteta's time if you guys win the FA Cup trophy?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're just talking about the stint that Arteta has been here, then yeah, I think he's been pretty successful in terms of what he's taken over, in terms of what he's been able to get out of the season after a few disappointments as well. To like come out of this with a trophy is definitely pretty big, and obviously getting some European football, which is better for the club financially and better for our squad as well with the young players that we have. But on the whole, looking at the whole season, like no season where Arsenal finish 8th is any kind of success. So I think there's a lot to work on, a lot to build with, but I think that definitely he's someone that I have a lot of confidence with. And I think that if he can be backed, and if whether or not he wins this this trophy for me, I think that if he can be backed, we can definitely see not only a better Arsenal team, but probably some exciting football as well moving forward.
So okay, so you back Arteta then personally. So you're fully behind him long term. You don't think Arsenal need a more experienced dude to take them to the next level? You believe in Arteta?
Yeah, I actually wanted Arteta before he came to Arsenal when I was just assessing the options, because for me, I felt like we needed someone to take us into the future of football. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I have respect for your boy Mourinho, but Mourinho can never be the Arsenal manager. Do you understand what I'm saying? And Ancelotti, I feel like he's got like he doesn't have like any kind of history.
Why can't Mourinho be the Arsenal manager? Why not?
Because he can't. Like he just can't. You see that whole thing with Wenger, like nah, I can't now allow you to come here and be managing the team.
Man, if you're doing it for box office, man, come on, you can forgive him, man. For live and let's live, man.
Yeah, but it's not every day Amazon documentary, HH. But no, I was also looking at Ancelotti, and I think Ancelotti again is kind of similar to Mourinho, not in terms of personality, but where he's someone that he kind of comes in to finish off the job. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you've already got an interesting team, a good team that's building, and then he kind of takes you over the edge. And then looking at what was it, Luis Enrique? We were linked to him, and I was like, that team that he had with Barcelona was something else, and with Arsenal, it's a rebuild project, like right from the beginning. So I think that Arteta, having been at Arsenal before, having known the club, having known a lot of the personnel of the club, has got a good relationship with Mertesacker, who's the head of the academy, someone who has a lot of very interesting ideas, footballing-wise as well. And seeing the impact that he has already, the clear communication, I feel like he was the right step away from Emery. Like you always say on the channel, like you've got to go for someone very different to the last manager. And I think that this is like very different to Emery and to even Wenger to some degree as well.
All right. From Yasser Said, who says David Luiz for a hat trick.
Yes.
Are you what? Actually, quickly, let me bring your boy Abdullahi in here. So Abdullahi,
yeah.
Do you think if Chelsea win this FA Cup, do you think that Chelsea should feel confident about Aug 8 Allianz Arena, Bayern Munich?
That is a tough question. Wow. Firstly,
it's not a tough question. It's a very easy question. It's not something at all.
We look at the first leg. In the bridge, we lost massively 3-0, and it wasn't just that we lost with a defensive mistake, which has been our huge problem from this season. Defensive mistake. I think in that against Bayern Munich match is the first 20 minutes. If you can kind of put Bayern Munich on the pressure, because if you remember after the Bundesliga finish, they have not been playing any matches. They've just been training. I think what will help Chelsea most in the Bayern Munich is if you can score in the first 20 minutes, you can get like 2 Gs or just 1 G before the 45 minutes. That will give more confidence to the players. It depends on mentality. This is what's called mentality. It depends on the mentality of the player in the Champions League match, because winning the FA Cup now will give them more confidence going into the Champions League match against Bayern. They know we have nothing to lose. Just go there, play your ball. We have nothing to lose there. Fair enough, if you lose, it's okay. But winning the FA Cup will give them more confidence and go to the match like, yeah, we can do this. We've competed against this team. Yeah, we know we lost against them just because of the defensive, but we can compete 1v1 with them, which we should have a chance. As long as out of 100%, there's like 5% or 10% chance we can do it. As long as 5% or 10% chance, we can do it.
Okay. So from your boy yesterday, who says, thank you for the super chat, says, guys, remember, sending questions. Well, we're going to take questions now for the next few minutes. Sending questions. Hit the like button, sending questions. Hit the like button, sending questions. So, didn't David Luiz and Thiago Silva knock out Chelsea in the Champions League when PSG was playing with 10 men? I remember how Chelsea scammed the ref to send off Ibra. Now, yes, Said, that is true. That did happen. But Said, we're in 2020. That happened in the year 1745, before America was founded. So, I'm a man about what have you done for me lately? And this is about the present, and this is about the future. It's about the present and about the future. So please, let us deal with the future. Let's always deal with the future. So this is a good one. So from your best, guys, remember, sending questions. What will you do if Barcelona gets lubricated by Napoli? Speaking of which, because maybe I'm going to ask you guys after this. But first of all, Barcelona, there is no chance that Napoli beats Barcelona. Like, Napoli are not knocking out Barcelona. Like, Messi wouldn't dare get knocked out by thingy. This is such a priority, because this is not really a priority for Napoli. It's such a priority for Barcelona. Hell no. There is no chance in hell that Napoli knock out Barcelona. Rodney, do you think Napoli have any chance of lubricating? Forget about lubricating. Do you think Napoli even have a chance of realistically knocking out Barcelona from the CL?
Is Osimhen playing?
No. He's signed, but he obviously can't play it. He could only play next season. But we're going to speak to him afterwards. But go for it.
I mean, if it was at the Camp Nou, I'd say 100% no, because there's something about that stadium, referees, Lionel Messi.
No, but it is they're playing at the Camp Nou.
Oh, are they actually playing at the Camp Nou?
So basically, the Lisbon games are from the quarterfinal onwards.
Oh, I see.
So these second leg games, they still are played at their stadiums. It's only changes from the quarterfinal. But De Laurentiis and Napoli, they are trying to push to take it away from Nou Camp and to Lisbon, because they are afraid of the whole COVID fears. But at the moment, it's going to take place at the Nou Camp.
Okay, well, assuming it takes place at the Nou Camp, then I'll definitely say no. I think even without fans being there, there's just something about that stadium. I think but Barcelona, I can just see them edging this tie, like getting over the line. But ultimately, moving forward, I'm not that confident with them in this competition.
All right. Abdullahi, what about you? Do you see Napoli doing something miraculous and knocking out Barcelona at the Camp Nou?
It's football. Anything is possible in football. Like I told you already, you can't.
Not anything is possible. How possible is this from happening? Realistically, my friend.
If Barcelona lose 2-2 at Camp Nou, it's over. If they lose 3-3 at Camp Nou, it's over. If they lose 2-1 at Camp Nou, is over. You know that, right? Because their away goals count. They draw at what's called Sao Paulo 1-1, and they lose like 2-1 or 2-2. It's done. Now what Barcelona needs to do is they have to find a way to win, because the problem with Barcelona this year has been consistency. That has been their problem. That has been their problem from the beginning of the season. After the COVID-19 stuff, is consistency. If they can get the consistency right, I think they are good to go. But we need to understand we need to understand that Napoli are not just small team. Napoli are not a small team. Tactically, Gattuso is very good tactically. He knows how to win, and it will not be stupid to set up and high line against what's called against Barcelona. No, it won't. It will probably go defensive and go counter attacking. That is where Barcelona struggles a lot. When you go defensive with them and counter them, that's how they struggle. So with Messi, I think this is the last chance of Messi to prove himself, to prove to the entire world, I am still the king. I am the king. If Messi get knocked out if he get knocked out against Napoli, if Lionel Andre Messi, I'm saying it now, if Lionel Andre Messi get knocked out against Napoli, if Lionel Andre Oluwasegun Messi,
you've said his name 5 times. What will happen, my friend? You've said his name about 5 times now.
Messi get knocked out of the champion, I don't want to hear any stupid excuse from Barcelona fans or Messi fans and saying Messi was not up. I don't want to hear any stupid excuse. He get knocked out, does he deal with it and let it go? Because that's what they're gonna bring the comparison of him and Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't want to hear that. You get knocked out, deal with it and move on. Because, okay. Barcelona has been shambles this year. They have been shambles.
Okay. So in a one-off game, Napoli can make it very difficult for Barca to break down, but it's 1-1. Napoli have to score. Barcelona don't. If it's 0-0, Napoli go through on away goals, 1-1. So the onus is on Napoli. Napoli are the ones that have to try and find a goal. So basically Barcelona are in the perfect position because they're like, well, if you want us to keep the ball, cool. And we can take as long as we want, be as patient as we want to try and find this goal. We don't need to get the goal. But you guys, you've got to come out and try and find that goal. And if you come out, you know that we can counter you guys. So Napoli are in a very difficult position because, again, if Napoli concede, then I have to score too. So it ain't easy. You know, like if you're Napoli, what do? Do you attack? Do you stick? Do you twist? So it's very dicey. From yesterday, it said, what results next weekend will result in an emergency hangout? Real through over City, Lyon through over Juventus, etc. Oh, for sure, an emergency will happen if. So actually, maybe I'll ask you guys. For me, an emergency will happen if Napoli knock out Barcelona. 100%. That's the emergency. Like Lyon over Juventus, yeah. But in terms of the one where like this will be like a full-on dichotomy, a full-on physiotherapy will be if Napoli, because then Messi will probably take up drinking and glue or something. Rodney, which do you think would be the most shocking result? Real over City, Lyon over Juventus, or Napoli over Barcelona?
I mean, I was going to say Chelsea Bayern if Chelsea somehow managed to win.
Hey, my friend Rodney, leave my witchcraft alone. I didn't mention that thing. Did I mention that match? Rodney, you have to listen to when someone is talking. You can't just put stuff that you want to put in. Don't mention that game. Leave it to me. I'm sorting it out. Please don't. I don't want to hear Chelsea Bayern come out of your mouth for the rest of the stream. Thank you. Now focus on the games that we said.
Yeah. So for me, it would probably be the Lyon game. And to be fair, like I don't know if you guys were checking out the game today. They actually held PSG over 90 minutes extra time and it went to penalties. So I'm thinking if they've got the same kind of resolve against Juventus, could be a very big upset in that one. And considering Ronaldo was bought specifically to win the Champions League, Sarri was specifically bought to play better football and obviously win the Champions League. there's a lot of narratives there for me.
Okay, so you're saying you learn Juventus would be the most shocking one?
Yeah, because the thing is with Real and City, like Real are coming off winning the La Liga. They've also got a lot of pedigree with Zidane in the Champions League. Like, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me that much in Pep. Champions League, no Lionel Messi. We know what it is. So,
okay. Sorry, before I come to lie here, I'm sure says that HH, where do you stand on the Leo Cristiano rivalry right now? Well, first of all, I don't really care about rivalry, but if I had to answer it, it remains the same. Cristiano may be the greater player in terms of his achievements and what he's done in terms of Man United, what he's done for Man United, Portugal, Real Madrid, and so forth, and his adaptability. But Messi will always be the better player. There's nothing Cristiano can do that will convince me that he's as good a player as Messi. Messi would always be the more talented football player than Cristiano, but in terms of trophies and what you've done and so forth, and what you've done in different systems, different situations, you have to give it to Cristiano. So Abdullahi, which would be the biggest shock next weekend for you then? Lyon beating Juventus, Real over City, Napoli over Barca.
If Napoli against Barca, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm going to be shocked because no one give Napoli a chance. If Chelsea overcome Bayern Munich, that is a 10-hour emergency knockout. 10-hour. 10 solid hour. If Chelsea somehow overcome by this Bayern Munich...
Abdullahi, shush. Abdullahi, relax. Just shush. Please don't mention Chelsea, man. Just relax. Just focus on the other ones. I'm working on something. Please don't tempt fate. Don't tempt fate. Please don't tempt fate. Just tell me, which of those three games, Napoli thing, which one of those ones would be the biggest shock? Please.
I think Napoli Bayern Munich against Bayern Munich.
No, you mean Barca. You mean Napoli Barca.
Napoli Barcelona. Sorry, Napoli Barcelona. So I think if Napoli beat Barcelona, that's gonna be a shock to the entire football world. I don't think that needs an emergency. I don't think it really needs an emergency. I don't think so. But I think it's gonna be a shock and a wake up call for all football fans. Because people we underrated so many teams like Atlanta, Napoli and co. But if Napoli somehow defeat Barcelona, that's a wake up call. It's not like everybody open your eyes now. This is the new era. No more Barcelona, no more this, no more that. It's gonna open a lot of people's eyes. It's like a wake up call to all fans in the world.
Okay. From your boy Just that I despise Sarri. Sack him now. Cristiano playing with bricks. Don't give me that nonsense about Cristiano. Don't give me that nonsense. Cristiano, he chose. This was the path that he chose. This was the path that he chose. So he chose to move to a team that already won 8 seasons, 7 championships in a row. So I always thought this move is as weak as what Kevin Durant did. It was a very, very weak move by Cristiano, man. So guys, remember, keep on sending those cues, man. Sending those cues. So I wanna ask you guys this again, man. Sorry. Because we'll keep bringing this. We'll keep bringing this up. How much pressure is Pep under for this? I want to come first to Rodney because I know what's your boy. So for you, Rodney, is Pep under a lot of pressure to deliver the Champions League this season based on the season that City have had, or you don't think that he's under that much pressure?
Oh, he definitely is for me. Because see, the thing is, like, I was kind of just chill with Pep before. But then the way he's been coming with his chest, you know what I mean? After the whole FFP CAS thing, you know what I mean? Like,
but your club and Chelsea, they're one of the clubs who basically snitched on him. They snitched and then said what's up. So maybe he has beef.
Yeah, the club's just doing his job. You know what I mean? But he's coming here talking about Wenger. He invested as well. Look at the money he spent on that team. As if you can even compare the two. So already, like, you saying that and trying to undermine the fact that you come in and you've spent billions, like genuine billions, and you still have not gotten to Has he even got to a semi-final with Man City in the CL?
He's won with Bayern 2016. Atletico, when Atletico beat them in 2016. I think that's the only semi he's been in without your boy Lionel Messi.
So this was the same manager that broke football as well. So that's what he said on the document.
Man, you know. No. I mean, see, my thing about it is that look, I'm not here to hate on anything, man. But you showing how elite you are is success in the Champions League. It is success in the Champions League, and I don't know how many free passes we can keep giving Pep, because you've had amazing teams, supremely amazing teams. That was an amazing Bayern team that won the treble. This Man City team got 100 points. They got 198 points over the space of 2 seasons. So my thing is that, okay, let me maybe ask you guys this. Is it that the Premier League is trash, or we have to just really wonder how the heck City we're not able to go through? Because maybe the same thing with Juventus, that we call the Serie A trash, because you've won it 9 times in a row, and when is the last time you won the Champions League? In 1996. So let me come to Abdullahi with this, man. Why do you think that Pep has been unable to really win this CL with Man City? Should we just blame because why has he been able to win it with Man City? 198 points over the course of 2 seasons. Is it because the Premier League is just crap and trash, and really the Premier League should not be referred to as Uber Eats and Siridomio?
I don't think the Premier League game is trash. I don't think it's just that the level of competition in the Premier League is kind of expanding. If you look at in the last 5 years, how many teams have won the Champions League? A lot of teams, like a lot of English teams has won the Premier League. Sorry, so it's not that it's a little bit crap, but saying Pep is gonna be under pressure if he doesn't win the Champions League. It's not gonna be under pressure, massive pressure. Massive. If he doesn't win that Champions League, I've been leaning a little bit about Pep, because I think some Pep fans want me to be lenient about him. Just give him this season and see how he pans out. I told the Pep fans already, I'm gonna be lenient about Pep Guardiola. I won't say anything until the Real Madrid match. If he doesn't win that Real Madrid match, Man City fans, Pep Guardiola fans should not even have the God or the audacity. I'm saying it now, the God or the audacity to call him the best in the world. I don't want to hear that anymore. If you can't overcome Real Madrid, Man City fans and Pep Guardiola fans should not have that guts and the audacity to say it's the best in the world. I do not want to hear that. I do not. Because if you're telling me he's the best manager in the world, people deal with that. I have started with Pep Guardiola that I'm gonna bring out. I'm gonna expose the hell out of Pep Guardiola. I'm gonna expose the hell out of him. So do not tell me is the best if it can't overcome Real Madrid. If it doesn't overcome Real Madrid, do not tell me. I don't want to hear any excuse anymore. No more excuse for Pep. This is his final year to prove us wrong. I've been
so what's it? So my friend here says he's just unlucky. You see, for me, you could argue that yes, there is an element of bad luck that Pep has had. You see, no, let's be real. All through his Bayern years, I'm not gonna give him that. Your team was good enough. I mean, you got smacked up by Real Madrid, you got smacked up by Barcelona, and you should have beaten that Atletico team. That Atletico team was not as good as the 2014 team. You were the better team against Atletico. But what happened? Liverpool got that ass. Can't see anything against that. Monaco, they got that ass. Tottenham, I can understand how they were unlucky, but how unlucky were they? Let's look at the first leg. You decided not to start De Bruyne because you greedily wanted to win 4 trophies. I've said this many times again. It is impossible for a team to win 4 trophies. That's impossible because you have to respect how difficult the Champions League is, and you cannot win the Champions League if you're fighting on 3 other fronts. There's only so much that your squad can do, and there is only so much that you can spread through. So it's very hard. So wait, Rodney, let me come into you now. So season has finished. Well, league season has finished and so forth. How, if you're just to look at Arsenal from the Emery time to now, how would you assess Arsenal's season? have been the highlights? What have been the lowlights for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't want Emery to start the season, so the whole time that he was here, I was just kind of counting down the days because I just knew like this can't last. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a situation really where we were just kind of we were kind of hanging in before the first international break, but after that it was just draws, like just game after game. I'd say probably the low point was after we lost to Leicester. And for me, I think that Leicester did well at that point in the season. They were playing some good football, but the way we lost that game, not even being in the game, and we're seeing now that that Leicester team is very average when you kind of peel a few of the players back. And for me, like the response of the club when the fans were frustrated to not get rid of him and to say that they were behind him and all these things, and then delaying the appointment of a new manager because obviously we had Freddie in there, but he was kind of being hung out to dry. There wasn't really a lot of staff. He had like Per Mertesacker as the assistant coach, but he's the head of the academy as well. So it was just it was a mess. But as I said, you know, Arteta was that breath of fresh air. So for me, that was definitely one of the big highlights. And I'd say results-wise,
okay, so when Arteta was hired and you knew that all the little experience he had was being Pep's assistant, were you really confident in hiring a guy that was unproven with no experience, taking over the crap show that Emery left? Or were you like, hey man, maybe we can do something with this dude who's working with Pep, even though he had no experience?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't necessarily think he'd come in and be like Pep to Barcelona when he first started. Do you understand what I'm saying? For me, it was more, I think what we needed was someone that could work better one-on-one with players, communicate better with players. And again, like it's just looking at what was actually available. Like if I could pick any manager, it would be like, at that point, I would have probably picked like Marco Rosa at Mönchengladbach or Nagelsmann at Leipzig. But at the same time, they weren't available. But I see Arteta as kind of a similar profile to that manager. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think with the results that we had under Arteta, so the United game, I mentioned the Chelsea game earlier, the Wolves game, the City game. Like I think I'm seeing the kind of football that I thought I would see from him on the basis of what he's been influenced by. So yeah, I think Arteta has been the highlight for me this season.
So thoughts on Sancho to United. So let me go further now. I'll give it to Abdullahi. Well, look, man, I still think that he's going to join Chelsea. But if he does go to United, that's a very good signing. But the thing though with this is that I think it could potentially be very, very intriguing to see the understanding that he forms with Martial, Pogba, and so forth. I rate Sancho very highly. I rate him very highly. Hence why he's one of my favorite players to watch. Which is why I wanted him for Chelsea. So he could potentially be very good. But my thing though is he's still young and he still needs to develop. I think United is a good system for him to go into. Like if let's say Sancho was for Tottenham, I'd be like, okay, I'd be maybe worried. If it was for Man City, I'd be worried. I think City and Tottenham be worried. But United, who want to attack, want to go forward, want to play good, interesting football, and I think Solskjaer gives players a lot of agency and a lot of freedom to express themselves, which maybe Mourinho did not give them. I think that is great for Sancho. But the thing though is, if Sancho goes, is he going to be guaranteed to start? See, at Dortmund, even if Far is being a bit of a prick, he's pretty much has a starting place there. And I think Sancho thrives upon being a star player where things revolve around him. But it will only work if Solskjaer allows him to be free, allows him to express himself, allows him to not be tied down by very specific, precise instructions. Because I just think that you have such a great footballing brain and a guy who can win a game for you, but then eventually you need to give him freedom. So, Abdullahi, what are your thoughts? Sancho to United, do you think that is a he would be a success. Do you think it's a good fit, Sancho and United?
I think for me, getting Sancho to United is a good fit. But I think my question to you, Church, is between Sancho and Kai Havertz, who do you choose to be a better player coming to Premier League? Who's gonna flop and who's gonna be a success in the EPL? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. We all know Sancho is good in Dortmund, but my problem with Sancho in United is I watch Dortmund a lot. I think this finishing the Bundesliga, Sancho only showed up against small team. He showed a lot in big team. When you play Bayern Munich, Sancho disappear. RSB Leipzig, it disappear. Borussia Mönchengladbach is off. What is Bayern Leverkusen? Bye bye. Wolfsburg, bye bye. So it doesn't show up. It only showed up when you play against from a 14 team, 15, 17, 18. Those are the teams that Sancho show up. That's how good we have to know. If it's
wait. Didn't he show up against PSG though in the first leg?
I keep saying it doesn't show up against big team. You can ask any Bundesliga player, any Bundesliga fans. Jadon Sancho only show up against smaller team. Against big team, it doesn't. That is my worry with Jadon Sancho. That's why I say who's gonna be the biggest success between Kai Havertz and Jadon Sancho. Because Kai Havertz is versatile. You can play as a winger, as a striker, as a midfielder.
Wait. So, and I want to obviously get Rodney's view on this. So, you're saying that Kai Havertz is a better player than Sancho? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
For me, yeah, it's because he's versatile. Yeah. Yeah. Kai is better player for me than Sancho. Sancho is a dynamic winger. He can play both right wing and left wing. But does he have that mental ability of like dragging a team, just like winning matches just for a team individually?
Has Kai Havertz ever scored at the Camp Nou?
Okay.
Has he ever scored in the Camp Nou?
He hasn't. Likewise, Jadon Sancho too. Yeah, likewise Sancho too. The problem with Sancho is
Sancho scored at the Camp Nou.
The problem with Sancho is good. I'm not saying it's not good. It's good. It's very, very good player. Every team in this entire world will love Sancho. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, PSG, Man City, even Liverpool will want Sancho. But the problem with Sancho is mentality. If you want to be a professional footballer, you have to have a very good mentality. Sancho lacks mentality a lot, and it's not someone who is kind of serious that much. It's just like someone like Paul Pogba. He plays a lot. He doesn't get that much focus. Like, this is what I want to succeed in this team. I want to give my all for the team. That's not how Sancho plays. So it's kind of different for me in terms of comparing Jadon Sancho to Kai Havertz. Why I say Kai Havertz is going to be a better player? Kai Havertz if you look at Kai Havertz, he plays the same way Ozil play, the same way Michael Ballack play. He has that ability, even the same way Zidane play. He has that ability in it, that raw.
Okay, we'll see. But I want to bring Rodney on this. So, Rodney, what's your assessment? So, first of all, your assessment on Sancho, and do you think Sancho to United is a right move that would work?
Well, first of all, on Sancho, yeah, I think he's an amazing player. I think what he's been able to do about Borussia Dortmund since leaving City has been exceptional. I think his development has been very, very impressive. Was it this season? He's looking at like 20 goals, 20 assists, all competition, something like that. Like, it's insane. So I think that Man United getting him in that front three. So they're looking at Rashford on the left, Martial, Sancho, and then obviously you've got Greenwood rotating in there. I think that's a lot of very versatile, very, very skillful. I think that's something that a lot of people don't talk about with Sancho. Like, I hear a lot of pundits like talk about the that kind of physical attributes and what he's doing at pace, but I think his IQ, the way he manipulates the ball, his ability to get shots off in the box, like, I think it's exceptional. Like, I think he's one of the best young talents on the right wing for sure. In comparison to Havertz, though, like Abdullah is saying, yeah, I would say that Havertz is the more versatile player, but whether that means he's the better player really depends on what we see from him doing at Chelsea. I think the beginning of this season, when I was watching Havertz, he didn't look that great, although I knew he was a talented player. But he has grown since the winter break. But that's when Bayer Leverkusen dropped into the Europa League, and then when they were making that push for the Bundesliga title, he wasn't really there as much. So I can't really use just him being versatile as a reason to say he's better. But I think they're both going to be very, very exciting additions to the Premier League if they come.
Okay. What's his name do? So Branke also says Kai Havertz reminds me of Kaka. No. And I know people say, look, I've never said all I've ever said is Kaka was overrated. I never called him crap. You being overrated doesn't mean that you're crap. People say, oh, your HH hates Kaka. I don't hate Kaka. I don't think he's as good as people think he is. Havertz is not like Kaka. I think the way that Kaka plays, I remember Kaka has that Brazilian thing in him.
I think he plays more like Messi Ozil of Arsenal, and also like Michael Ballack a little bit. Someone who's like, he knows when to pass and when to...
But see, okay, this is my issue with, if you're looking at Havertz and what's my friend Sancho. You see, the reason why the person I'm more excited for Chelsea is Ziyech, is because this guy proved it in the Champions League. And for me, he was arguably one of Ajax's best players in the Champions League. So for me, already I'm like, that guy is good. Havertz, bro, all you've done is Bundesliga work for Bayer Leverkusen. I don't know what you've done against Bayern. I don't know what you've done in the Champions League. I don't know what you've done in really high-tier games. Sancho, I've seen what Sancho's done in the Champions League. I've seen what Sancho did against PSG in that first leg. And I've seen what Sancho can do ability-wise. I've seen what... This is Ziyech's goal against Chelsea where he scored from the throwing line or something. So I've seen these guys do amazing things. All I can say for Havertz is, oh, wow, he's really young. And he's captain for a major Bundesliga side at a very young age. And that's it. But in terms of what I've seen using the eye test, there's nothing that I have seen from Havertz that puts him on the same level as what I've seen from Sancho or what I've seen from Ziyech. That's the issue. So
let me ask you this question, HH. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Chelsea signed Kai Havertz now, and Man United signed Jadon Sancho. And Kai Havertz outplayed Sancho in his first season. Outplayed him massively in his first season. Will you call Sancho a flop? Will you call Sancho a flop in United or no? Or will you give him?
No. I mean, if Sancho doesn't ball and Havertz outballs him, yeah, I'll say that no, Sancho flopped. But if that happens, basically, I think that it's very doubt. Because see, my thing about this is that, guys, remember, we had this about João Felix. There was a huge, massive fan for João Felix. Look what happened. We had the same thing about Frankie de Jong. Look what happened when he joined Barca. We are living in an age where everyone is the new this. Everyone is the new that. The new this, the new that, the new this. These guys are amazing. And my thing about it is that forget the hype. Forget the stats. Let me watch you play. And what have you done in the biggest games? Okay, the reason Mbappe, he deserved the hype because Mbappe was scoring in consecutive Champions League knockouts games at the age of flipping 18, 17, which was ridiculous. So guys, no, this guy is performing at the very highest level of club for football. And we now saw what he did at the World Cup. So there are people who deserve hype. There are people who deserve the hype. And the other guys who... they need to really prove more before you really give them this hype. So I just think that, you have to be... Same thing with... See, for me, Werner and Havertz, you just have to be wary. The good thing about Havertz is, okay, he's so young. But you have to be wary about these dudes. United getting Sancho, he's proven. So, you have to admit that... Okay, let me even ask you, Rodney, then. Like, if, let's say, you are Arsenal then, and you had a choice of Kai Havertz or Sancho, who would you go for? And you could really spend all your budget on one player. Would you go for Sancho or would you go for Havertz?
Well, from Arsenal specifically, then I would definitely go for Havertz because our midfield needs that kind of player. And I think if we were bringing in Sancho, then we'd have like 3 right wingers. But let's say we remove Pepe from the equation.
Okay. So you're happy with Pepe then?
Yeah. I think for me, Pepe has the talent to be one of the best forwards in the Premier League. Like, definitely. I think what he's able to do on dead balls, the way he manipulates the ball, his ability one-on-one. I think the Man United game was probably the best example of it. Like he was just playing with Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire the whole game. You know, they couldn't do anything with him. And I think what he is as a creator, I think he has some of the attributes that Ozil has with getting in those half spaces as well. So yeah, I'm quite happy with him, to be honest. I wouldn't swap Sancho with Pepe if that's an extreme take.
So actually, even back to it again, is Aubameyang staying at Arsenal then? Do you believe that he will commit himself at Arsenal long term?
Yeah, I think I'm 60-40 on him staying. I've been fairly confident in that sense that he would stay, because the thing is, if he was going to go, I think it would have had to have been before the whole coronavirus thing, because the wages that he seems to be looking for are 250k a week, which is the rumored amount. And I'm just thinking, at 31 years old, post coronavirus, how many clubs are going to pay that for a 31-year-old? You know, Barcelona have the economic problems. Inter Milan are quite good up front, and obviously they've committed money elsewhere. I think it was PSG he was linked to as well, but they got Icardi in. I can't see him going to any of the other Premier League clubs. So for me, I think he's staying because the options out wide aren't necessarily as great as they were. And also, I've seen players at Arsenal where I can tell they want to leave, you know what I mean? Like Alexis Sanchez near the end, we could tell he was done. You know, the relationship was done. With Aubameyang, it doesn't look like that. He looks like he's happy at Arsenal. He's happy in London. He's happy working with the manager, the players. So, yeah, I think he'll stay.
Okay. So let's just take a few more cues that will be jumping off, man. So just better that. So maybe this is to Abdullahi. Where was Havertz against Juve and Atleti? So Abdullahi, where was Havertz against Juve and Atleti, bro? Can you answer that damn question?
I think I can answer that to George Benson. I think
please answer it.
In terms of that, I think you need to judge a player in the whole season, not just one match or just two matches. I have watched Borussia Dortmund a lot in the Bundesliga this year, and I've watched Bayern Leverkusen a lot this year. I can see the difference between Kai Havertz and Jadon Sancho. I can see the both difference between both of them. So Atletico Madrid and Juventus are kind of different teams, but you can't just judge based on two matches. You need to be a top player. You need to play consistently. That's why people are kind of hype on Kylian Mbappe, because he has shown it how good of a player he is. Because he's a consistent player. He keeps doing it.
Or has he shown it in big games? What big games has he shown up in, man? That's the question, man.
What big games has Kai Havertz shown it?
Yes. Well, in what big games has Kai Havertz shown up?
He hasn't shown up in that much big games. He just kind of shown up in Bundesliga. But when you talked about in terms of talent, versatility, and ability as a player, I will give it to Kai Havertz, because he can adapt to any system you want him to play. Can Jadon Sancho do it? No. Sancho needs space to play. Why Kai doesn't need space to play? He can just manipulate anywhere and play. Just like Ozil, the way Balak, the way Zidane plays. That's how Kai Havertz plays. So he doesn't need space to play.
Excuse me, what?
Yes.
Did you just say Havertz and Zidane's name in the same sentence?
Yes, I said Kai Havertz play the same Mesut Ozil, Michael Ballack, and Zidane Zizou of Real Madrid plays. Yes, they know how to manipulate ball with it.
Wait. So wait. All right. Let me just hear this. Let me get this very clearly, because I told you. Okay, because obviously it's a Friday night. I know that you're a bit. So you're telling me that you're likening Kai Havertz to Zinedine Zidane. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I'm saying Kai Havertz plays in the way Zizou plays. He has the same flair in the way Zidane plays. He has it. Yeah. You may not believe, but Kai Havertz has that flair in which Zizou of Real Madrid has. He has it. I will need you to watch Kai Havertz play. Go check on YouTube and watch the way he plays. And Jadon Sancho.
No. The funny thing is that I did. Now, maybe I went to the wrong video, but there is no video of Zidane that you can show me where he doesn't look like a guy from another planet. The compilation I saw of Kai Havertz was, this is just standard through balls, and your Kai Havertz and Zidane?
It's
insane.
Okay, wait. Okay, Rodney, do you wait, where do you stand on this? Are you saying Havertz? I mean, what? How are you being?
I'm not saying it's better than Zidane, but I said he has a flair.
You said that you're putting them in the same. You said he has the same flair as Zinedine Zidane, Zizou.
The way Zidane play, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because you know what
Wow, man.
like my oh, sorry.
Yeah. So speak.
My favorite moment of Zidane was when he played Brazil, World Cup 06. Like that game was probably like one of the most dominant displays, from a midfielder. And I think just the way that he could literally control the ball and kill it dead, like from anywhere. It could be coming 50 feet from the sky, it could be coming hard into his feet. The way that he was able to turn people, he could take on anyone. And he was doing this at like, didn't he like retire and come back or something like that? Like,
yeah, no. So what's it called? So France was struggling to qualify for the World Cup. He came out of retirement, helped them qualify for the World Cup. 34 years of age, led them to a final. And I still believe that if he had remained on the pitch, he would have scored the winning goal.
100%. Yeah. So I think that level of quality, I think, is very rare for me. So Havertz, I think if you want to compare him to Ozil, I think that's a similar kind of profile of player for sure. Peak Ozil, though, I think the thing is that people forget, but peak Ozil genuinely was like one of the best playmakers ever.
Peak Ozil was the best playmaker in the world. At least at his best, he was the best playmaker in the world.
For sure, yeah. So whether Havertz can reach those levels of consistency game after game, he's still young, so I think we have to wait and see. But the ceiling's definitely big for him. So yeah, that's all I really have to say on it.
Okay. So again, let's just see. Anyone sending in? So that Havertz does have that quality that he makes difficult things look normal. Zidane-esque, but not quite Zidane. Okay, so this is what people need to understand here is that you're talking about one of the finest football players in history. In history. Zidane was an otherworldly player. You telling me some dude who plays for Bayer Leverkusen is doing Zidane-esque things is insane. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, from the footage I've seen of Havertz, this guy looks, he's a decent player. To now compare him to Zidane, I just think it's insane. See, Abdullah, let me ask you an honest question. Are you saying this because Chelsea are going in for him? Let me be honest. If Havertz was heading to either Arsenal or Liverpool, would you still be saying the same thing?
Yes, I will. Because, I have watched Jadon Sancho and I have watched Kai Havertz. He has that ability. When you talk about raw talent, generational talent, Kai Havertz has. For me, is the most finest player Germany team has ever produced after Leroy Sané. Because he's that good.
Leroy Sané?
Yes, he's that good. Kai Havertz has that flair of Zinedine Zidane. He has it in him. He has it. He has. Yes. That's why
Abdullahi, have you seen the kind of pirouettes Zidane does? Have you seen the kind of first touch that he does? The way that he controls the ball, the way that he drifts past players. You've seen the volley that he scored at the Champions League final, and you're saying that's on the same level as Kai Havertz?
He has a flair. There's a difference between a player like Zidane and he has that flair. He has just like the other guys who said the super chat said, he's an ex Zidane. Like he has that flair, raw talent flair in which Zidane has.
Which game do you think that?
I may be wrong, but I will pray and I hope it comes to EPL and it prove everybody's wrong. I'm totally ready. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna take my hell. I'm ready. But I've seen Kai Havertz very well, and I've watched Zidane. He has that flair in which Zidane has. He has it. He has that talent. He has that talent in him. He has it.
I mean, no, for me, I think you're mad. Personally, I just think you're mad. Like to say that he has the same flair as Zidane, I don't mean to be rude, but I think you're crazy. I honestly think that you're completely crazy, man. So I think so. Say, how good was Zidane by 21? You see, this is the thing. We are not comparing how good they were age for age. Zidane was a late bloomer. So Zidane only really hit his peak maybe towards his mid 20s, late 20s. Basically, late 20s was when he was really hitting his peak and so forth. So it was a late bloomer. So 100% Havertz is better than Zidane at the age that he's now, which is like 20 or 21. But I judge it by your peak. Now, maybe Havertz could get to Zidane's peak and be supremely amazing and so forth. But from what I've seen of Kai Havertz right now, he's not done, because it's almost as if you're saying that. So are you now saying that Havertz is now on? I think that Havertz now has the same ability as the Us or the prodigy. That's insane. That's insane.
Okay, Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele are totally different players. When he talks, okay, there's a difference between talent, ability. There's a difference. Kylian Mbappe has everything a player could have. He can use both feet. He can dribble. He has space. He's a very direct corner. It's very good. Ousmane Dembele has the same pace, but the difference between Ousmane Dembele and Kylian Mbappe is Kylian is more focused than Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele is not focused. When you want to be a professional football, you have to give all your all being a footballer. Kylian Mbappe, like both feet, is just too good, very, very good, dynamic player than Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele is a good player. I'd say for me, Ousmane Dembele went to the wrong club for him to improve as a player. He totally.
So wait. Okay, so are you putting Kai Havertz in the same category as Mbappe and the Us?
No, I'm not putting Kai Havertz in the same bracket as Mbappe. No, I'm not.
Okay. So look, guys. So to round off, Ford gave his thoughts and so forth. So let me give my thoughts, and then I want to hear what you guys think. So Arsenal, Chelsea. I believe that yes, Arsenal are going to go with the same. They're going to go with a similar defensive tactic. I think if Arteta is smart, I think he will go with the same thing of give Chelsea the ball. Because if they've studied the tape and so forth, they'll say Chelsea are not good at breaking teams down. And if City can't break us down, it's going to be harder for Chelsea to break us down. So same thing. Let us force them to have possession, let them play with a high pressing line, and they will then hit them on the break. And I think Arsenal will be looking to get Aubameyang and so forth. If Chelsea are smart, don't go for the bits. I think if you're Chelsea, play a balanced game and actually try and allow Arsenal to have the ball. Play a bit more restricted and actually be happy to give Arsenal the ball and let them now second guess as to, okay, should we have possession or not? And I think for Chelsea, they should try and force Arsenal to come out so that they can then create that space. For Arsenal, I think the key will be the supply to Aubameyang and the creativity for Aubameyang. And if Chelsea make a defensive mistake, Aubameyang will pout. See, that's the difference. If Arsenal make a mistake, it's not definite that Giroud or the Sick will pounce. If Chelsea make a mistake, they'll pounce. So if Chelsea make any defensive mistakes, I think they are screwed. But I think it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a real fun game. And I see this. I think Chelsea take this 2-1. I think it's going to be a 1-1 for a while. And I think maybe around the 65th or 71st, 73rd minutes or so forth, Chelsea will get the dish. I think I say Chelsea to take this 2-1. Abdullahi, how do you see this game going, man?
I think I'm gonna give it to Chelsea. Why I'm gonna give it to Chelsea is I know our defensive this year has been shambolic. Yeah, I know. But Arsenal too doesn't have that kind of defense also too. And we need to understand something. David Luiz is good, but it's the main target. For me, David Luiz in that defense is a negative for me. It's a negative for me because the problem with Luiz is he loses focus a lot. He loses focus a lot in terms of ball playing central defender. It's very good.
Oh, but he was very good in that City game, man. He was one of the best players in that Man City game.
After the City match? Do you watch that Aston Villa match? After the Aston Villa, do you watch the Watford match? But
what did I just say? I said Arsenal. First of all, this is an FA Cup final, not a league game. That doesn't mean anything. And they may play the same tactic and approach that they had, which they didn't have against Aston Villa. So,
like what I'm hearing, I think what's called Arteta wants to set up defensively the way he did against Liverpool and Man City. I think for me, it gives Chelsea more time when you start up a defensive team against Chelsea. Now it depends on how clinical. Like I said, it depends on how clinical we can be against Arsenal. Arsenal have a low post in their defense, which is gonna show. Now, can we pounce on their low post? Possibly yes, and possibly no. It depends. Because we have to be clinical against Arsenal. Aubameyang is a very clinical striker, and despite him being clinical, he can also waste goals. He can also one-on-one, he can miss it, and one-on-one, he can score. That is Aubameyang. If Aubameyang could play tomorrow and miss a sitter, it's very possible. That's PM Aubameyang for you, and he can play tomorrow and score 1v1. That's Aubameyang for you.
So give me a score, man. Give me a score. How's the game gonna go? Give me a score. How's the game gonna go?
It's tough, but I'm saying a 3-1 to Chelsea.
Oh. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Rodney, how's the game gonna go, man? How do you see it? Do you think number 14 will rise? Actually, no. Yes, you do, because that's your username. So tell me exactly how you feel number 14 will be realized.
Yeah, number 14 definitely has to show up. So for me, I think that it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people are saying. I could be wrong, but I just think that the games that we've seen between Arsenal and Chelsea haven't been that. I don't really think there's been significantly that much between the team. And the fact that we were at Stamford Bridge and you guys couldn't beat us with 10 men, and without Aubameyang even being there, we scored 2 goals. I do think there's an opportunity for Arsenal to go out there and be more clinical with 11 men on the pitch. And I think for me, as I said, I think that Frank's a good matchup for Arteta on the basis of what we've seen before. But I think I was listening to a podcast earlier where basically they said Arsenal almost have to beat Chelsea twice because what you guys have on the bench, your wide options, is more than what we have. So I think we will probably be able to hold in there. I'm going to try and be optimistic and say a 2-0 win to Arsenal. I think Pepe is going to show up, my boy, after I bigged him up today.
A clean sheet?
Yes.
I don't think it will score. Because Olivier Giroud is in form. He will score. He knows how to score goals. When you give him a chance, he will score. Giroud has been, after the post-COVID, he has been fantastically in form. He has scored 9 goals in 8 matches. He's in form of his life. He's in form. So when you give him a chance, he will score goals. He will.
I do rate Drew, by the way.
For Chelsea. Olivier
Giroud. If Arsenal win 2-0, then I'm very fearful for OG 8. See, that's why this game is so important. If Arsenal beats Chelsea comprehensively, then I think Chelsea should use the forfeit rule for OG 8.
I don't think it's possible. I do not think it's possible. 2-0, I don't think
Ablaye, you just open your mouth and say that anything is possible in 4.
So
it is possible that Arsenal, again, I don't want it to happen, but if Arsenal is,
I doubt it.
Do you know what the nightmare scenario is? Yeah. The nightmare scenario is if Arsenal lubricates or circumcise Chelsea.
Okay.
If that happens, Chelsea have to cancel that game OG 8.
Okay.
Mentally, psychologically, Chelsea can't go into the being lubricated by Bukayo Saka and all these dudes, man. That can't happen.
Let me put it this way, by the way. Okay, if Chelsea lubricate Arsenal, then what will you say? What will you say?
Wait, so say again.
If Chelsea lubricate Arsenal like they did in Baku, what will you say that?
No. If then it will be much expected. And I think it would be a very good preparation for this weekend. As I said, I expect Chelsea to deal with Arsenal. I expect them to. Chelsea are the better team. The only thing that Arsenal have over Chelsea is a better striker, a better finisher, and that's it. Chelsea are better in everything. They also have the best player on the pitch in Pulisic. They have the best midfielder in Kovacic. They have the best defender in Zuma. No, Arsenal are better in 2 areas. They have a better finisher. They've got a much better goalkeeper. So those are 2 areas that they're very strong, because I think Martinez is a decent keeper, man. But look, man, we'll see, man. All I'm saying is this, man, is that if Arsenal touch up Chelsea, the Allianz Arena, the Allianz Miracle needs to be cancelled. Guys, it's been solid, been good. Remember, guys, I will be live on Twitter. Live on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch. I'll be watching the game live on Twitch. Follow me there. Follow for my reactions and so forth. And after that, we'll be back here for the post-match stream. But remember, follow me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Halfpod. I will be watching the game live. Join me. Bring a drink. Bring a meal. Bring a wife. Peace out. Stay true. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Become a Patreon member.
Thank you.
Get access to my blog. Get access to exclusive videos, and also get access to the podcast, to the Saturday and the Sunday hangouts. Head over to patreon.com/halfpop to gain all these goodies while also supporting your boy HH.